Monster presents Heard on Thursdays, the iconic radio talk show that made Philippine FM radio talk. Winner of multiple KBP Golden Dove Awards. HOT. Heard on Thursdays. Your host, Rhea Rams.
Hey Monsters, good afternoon and welcome to the show that made Philippine FM radio talk, KBP's best podcast program, Heard on Thursdays right here on Season's Hottest, Monster RX93.1. I'm your host, Rhea Rams. Now, when we watch a film, Monsters, we often see the final product. The story, the performance, the emotion on the screen, but behind every film that makes it to a festival, there's another kind of storyteller, the curator. The one who decides which stories get seen and how they're framed for the world. So today, Monsters, we are going behind the scenes of international film festivals, the heart of world cinema. And we're exploring what it really takes to curate stories that connect across borders, languages, and cultures. Our guest today is someone who's helped shape the Philippine cinema's place in that global conversation. Filmmaker, professor, and artistic director of QCinema International Film Festival, one of the Philippines' most respected platforms for local and global filmmakers alike. We'll talk about the art and ethics of film curation, the evolution of Philippine cinema, and of course, the delicate balance between artistic vision and audience experience. Heard on Thursdays, let's welcome to the show, Ed Lejano. Hello, Sir Ed.
Hello, Rhea. Thanks for having me in your iconic show. I feel iconic already.
Oh my gosh. Well, I feel very honored to have you here today. It is such a treat to be talking to the artistic director of QCinema Film Festival. Now, it's just around the corner. How are preparations going? I imagine it's a very busy time for you.
Yes, it's crunch time right now. It's been sleepless nights and writing tons of emails.
Oh.
And I can't tell you enough. But it's nice to be here in my favorite local show.
Oh, well, thank you so much for taking the time despite being super busy. Opening night is tomorrow, so that's really exciting. And we do want to talk about that a little bit more, but later on. So for now, I do want to start at the beginning. How did your love for film start? Were you always drawn to cinema, or did the appreciation really start a little later on?
Oh, in a galaxy far, far away. This is many eons ago. I was a geek film buff when I was a kid. I used to watch late night movies on TV, analog days. And of course, I've seen also adult films during that time frame. They're very, they helped me become what I am now. So, I would watch a lot of films, and I went to the States to study film.
Wow.
So that kind of shaped me into being a filmmaker, film lover, and, kind of have some taste in world cinema.
Right. And you have worn so many hats in the industry, filmmaker, professor, and now a festival director. Was there a moment when you realized that programming and curating films was where you wanted to make your mark?
Oh, yes. It was just a happy accident, and I have been with Q Cinema since the very beginning.
Wow.
13 years ago.
Wow.
I just attended one meeting in the Quezon City Hall. They were doing a Quezon City Film Commission. And before I knew it, I was right there, and we want to make an international film festival. So it was just synchronicity. I was there and available and have watched 10,000 films at that point. So, yeah.
Now that sounds awesome. Now Q Cinema actually is happening tomorrow, opening night. So that's all the way until the 23rd, right?
Yes, 10 days of films.
Amazing. So what can audiences look forward to this year? Are there any special themes, new sections, or films that you're particularly excited about?
Well, every November is an event that cinephiles in the metropolis look forward to. So it's November 14th to the 23rd, 10 days of world cinema. You don't have to go to Busan, Cannes, Berlin, Sundance, Toronto. It's a curated program of films, I think more than 80 plus. So we have different sections, and it's like an extravaganza of films that it's different from the other festivals locally, like MMFF, which just shows Filipino films, or Cinemalaya, which is just local indie films. This is world cinema in a global scale with different sections, and took us a year to put this all together.
Wow.
And tomorrow we bow.
Oh my goodness. It's so exciting. So if you guys are into films, if you guys are film buffs, this is definitely the place to be. So where is Q Cinema going to be taking place?
It's in Quezon City. After all, it's financed by Quezon City Hall. Thank you, Mayor Joy Belmonte, who has been behind it from the very beginning. And so our hub is Gateway Cinema 2. We have 3 venues there. So at any one point, they can have a plethora of choices of titles to choose from. We have also one theater in Trinoma, one in Eastwood, one in Cloverleaf, Ayala, and Fisher Mall. So they're all QC because like Busan, Berlin, it's really situated in a particular city because our theme is Film City.
Oh, okay.
But more on that later.
Okay, yeah, more on that later for sure. But I do want to get a little bit into film curation or just what makes a good film. So before I watch a film, I normally check the ratings online, right? And there are typically different types of ratings. Usually I check 2 things. The one on Rotten Tomatoes, which is normally by film critics. And then there's the one on Google reviews, which is by just regular
User
film people.
reviews.
Yes. So how do you think they differ? Because there are times when the rating by the users are so high, but then Rotten Tomatoes is like 30%.
Yes.
And then there are other times when it's the opposite. So what makes that difference?
They're not always different types of films. Sometimes they converge. So the critics' favorites are usually those that have come from different film festivals. They may have won awards, they may have some controversy, they might have like one great performance or good direction or some dazzling screenwriting. Others are like crowd favorites and they're mainstream. So sometimes they intersect, like those films that they become popular and yet it didn't prevent them from winning awards at the Oscars or some other festivals.
Right. Now, coming from somebody who's watched thousands of films and also studied film, what exactly would you say makes a good film?
It's something that creates an impact. It can be a visual impact or intellectual or emotional, and or it creates a buzz. So it's something that it's hard to explain, but you know, a good film, when you see one, of course, it's different from content. Like we all know content now that we consume in streaming platforms, but there are these special films that are that cater to festivals, that go to different award. They've won awards. So these are the type of films that our followers, the cinephiles, love to consume, so to speak. So in one go, they can watch 3 films, and it's like a smorgasbord, and they have their fill. So it's like a mental checklist they make. Oh, I've seen this in Q Cinema, and many weeks later, oh, best foreign film in Oscars. Oh, it Asian Film Festival. You know, it's kind of like a collection. You know, whatever. You make a list and try to make the list as long as possible of the good ones.
Right. And that's super exciting. It's like you have made it so accessible for anybody to watch as many films as they want in the span of 10 days. And we are going to get a little more into that in a little bit. But Monsters, right now, you are listening to Heard on Thursdays. I'm your host, Rhea Rams, and today we are joined by Ed Lejano, Artistic Director of QCinema International Film Festival. We'll be back to talk about what it really takes to curate stories from around the world. Only here on Manila's hottest, Monster RX93.1.
Monster presents Heard on Thursdays, the iconic radio talk show that made Philippine FM radio talk. Winner of multiple KBP Golden Dove Awards. HOT. Heard on Thursdays.
Your host, Rhea Rams.
Season's hottest, Monster RX93.1. Welcome back to Heard on Thursdays. I'm your host, Rhea Rams, and today we are joined by QCinema's artistic director, Ed Lejano, talking about the art of curation and storytelling through film. So a lot of people think that being a film festival programmer and director is just about picking your favorites, but I know it's so much more and so much deeper than that. So what goes into curating a lineup for something as big as QCinema? So when you're curating for a festival like this, what's your process like and what do you look for in a film?
It actually starts in the beginning of every year. Like by January, we start already watching films. We make a short list and checking it twice. So yes, there are films that premiere in Sundance, which is early on. So we have to filter what's good in that particular festival, and then comes the next Berlin, and then comes the next Cannes, next Venice, Hong Kong, Toronto. It's like a never-ending task of watching the possible films that can make it to our list, and if we make a tentative selection, it involves a lot of emails to the distributor, negotiation, reading the reviews, checking the rating, all that. So imagine, a number of films that goes through the same process times 80 or 150.
More.
So we have a team. So we have Jason Liwag, who does the shorts, and my co-programmer is Philbert D, a film critic. So we sift through all these titles and what is good in a particular section. We have different sections, by the way.
Okay, so what exactly are sections and what kind of sections do you have?
Right. We have the main competition, which is an Asian section for exciting Asian directors. And we have 2 Filipino films in this main competition, which is called Asian Next Wave. We have a Japanese-Philippine co-production, Diamonds in the Sand, with Charlie Dizon and the Japanese actor who's going to be here, Lily Frankie. And there's another Filipino film which recently premiered in Cinemalaya, Open Endings, with Jasmine Curtis.
Right.
They're in the main competition, together with other 7 other Asian films, equally exciting.
Yeah, that's so exciting because, again, this is an international film festival. So how exactly do you curate, or how exactly do you choose these international films and also local films?
First, they have the ingredient to make it worth watching for by our followers. Like it's edgy, or it's got a buzz around it, or it has to be shown in the Philippines no matter what. So these are Philippine premieres, by the way. So there's Renoir from Japan. There's Kinam In from Southeast Asia. A lot of films, and that's just from the main competition, Asian Next Wave, which will have an awards night in November 19. We have other sections, which is New Horizons competition, which is 9 films by debuting directors. These are first films by exciting new names making their first films, including Kirsten Stewart as director.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it sounds really interesting. There's so many different sections to look out for, and so many different films. Yes, different competitions. So that sounds super exciting. And you did also mention earlier that you have a team watching these films, and I'm sure right now you have 80 on the list, but I'm sure you watch like twice, thrice the amount. Do you all watch all of those films, or do you split that?
we split that, and we don't watch it all together, eating popcorn. Sometimes I lie on the couch and watch on my phone. Not a good thing, but usually on the computer. But sometimes if you're on to your fourth film for the day, you're like, can I take a sleeping tablet, please?
But isn't that tiring too? I mean, yes, watching films are super fun. There's so many different stories, there's so many different visuals, a lot of things to look out for. But if you have to do it as sort of a job, does that get tiring? How do you stay interested and excited to watch the films that you're going to be putting in the festival?
I don't watch Netflix anymore. I seldom go to the movie theaters when I'm like watching all these films. So it's like the last thing I want to do is watch another film, but tomorrow's another list of 3 films to watch. So it's an endless cycle.
Right.
So after QCinema, maybe I'll go back to those streaming platforms and series.
Yeah, I mean, it's so rare to hear someone say, I don't want to watch a film anymore. But it happens, apparently. And do you normally curate a list for the day, for each day? You have like a list. Okay, these are the films I'm going to watch for the next coming days. And how do you curate those also based on maybe a section or a genre?
They come in spurts. So if a distributor sends me a bunch of screeners, I just watch what my mood is in for. Sometimes it can be slow burn art film. It could be a midnight movie. It can be a classic. So sometimes I need variety to last my day. So
Right.
yeah, and we have other sections as well, like the Rainbow QC, which is an LGBTQ competition. We have a midnight section. We have a classic section. We have shorts, 20 plus shorts in
Wow.
different programs. What else? We have a focus on a certain actress. For this year, we're doing Sandra Huller, the German actress of Anatomy of a Fall.
Ooh.
That's a series. Yeah, so lots.
And when you talk about these sections, how exactly do they work? Are they split per day or per cinema? How do these sections work?
They have during the day there are different films, and it's labeled as this is a Rainbow QC film, so they know it's an LGBTQ film. There's Screen International, which is the big titles from Cannes. That's the prestige section, so they know what to see. So that's where Hamnet is, starring Jesse Buckley and Paul Mescal, I think. We have the Mastermind with Josh O'Connor. We have History of Sound with Paul Mescal and Josh O'Connor again.
Wow.
So these are, watch out for these titles. You'll be hearing from them within the Oscar campaign in the coming weeks.
All right. Now, how do you balance showcasing global films while also uplifting local voices, especially in an international festival setting?
We're aware that we need to show a diverse program of films for different types of tastes and genres. So on one hand, there is the festival movie type of artsy film. There are genre films. This year we're premiering, first time we're doing this, Call My Manager, which is the Philippine adaptation of Call My Agent with Eric Mati directing. We're showing the first 2 episodes. So we're also getting into the film meets series platform kind of thing. So yeah, we're also excited to show those first 2 episodes before they get released in the platforms next year.
Wow, that's actually super exciting. And it's surprising to me that now even series are getting integrated into film festivals. So that's something new to me, at least, and that's something definitely to look forward to. You get like a sneak peek before they even get released, right? That's awesome. Now, film festivals can definitely shape cultural conversations. How do you decide on the festival's overall theme or tone for a given year?
For this year's theme, it's Film City, because just a few days ago, we just won the UNESCO Creative City for Film for Quezon City.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Yes, it's the first time in the Philippines we're going to have a creative city for film, and the first time in Asia, together with another Asian country. So it's a big, big honor for QCinema, which is a big part of the reason why we got this special award, UNESCO award. So parang it's UNESCO, baby.
Definitely. That's huge in Film City. And you guys decided on this because of that.
We were manifesting, so I think manifesting paid off. Thank
Definitely.
God. Buti na lang. So yes, it gives us a challenge now because Quezon City is where 60% of the malls are located. So imagine how Quezon City is so important to the film industry. Also in the history of Quezon City, that's where the Regal Films, the ABS-CBN, the GMA7, the FPJ Studios. So there's a history behind it, aside from this International Film Festival. And we have a mayor who's very actively, supporting us.
Yes, that's honestly such an important factor also. Now, here's the question though. You have, like I mentioned earlier, you watch thousands of films in a year, maybe, possibly,
Yes.
right? How
Stop
exactly?
counting.
Yeah, how exactly do you stay open and inspired without getting numb to the storytelling?
Well, there's a fast forward button. No, I'm just kidding. Sometimes I read the reviews, so that already kind of filters out some. And sometimes I make it a point to have something that I'm looking for. So this year, since our theme is Film City, we have a lot of films which are film within a film. Like in the movie, they're making a film. So it's part of a pattern that emerges upon watching all these films and determining what kind of connection, common thread among the films. So the Film City, there's a bunch of films in our programming that is about film within a film, for which Curator, our opening film tomorrow with Angelina Jolie, it's a filmmaker is making a film during Paris Fashion Week, and it also intersects with other stories about a Sudanese black model struggling in a white, predominantly white modeling world kind of competition. So that's what we're doing. It's not just a fashion movie. It's good for the red carpet, but after weeks of natural calamities and
Yes.
government controversies, it's time to relax and watch this film about the fashion industry
Yes.
for our opening film.
Right. Now, you also did mention earlier that when it comes to watching films, you do read reviews to
Yes.
kind of filter some out. Which do you give more weight to? Like, would you say you give more weight to reviews from film critics, like on Rotten Tomatoes, or do you give more weight to the reviews by the users, by the audience, the general public?
It's nice to balance both, but ultimately I just base it on my gut feel. Like, oh, okay, it's slow, but it's promising, or oh, it's very entertaining, but maybe it's for the malls. So sometimes it's just instinct that, oh, okay, there's something in here I can't explain. So it's gut feel.
Well, you can only get that from years and years of watching thousands and thousands of films.
And lots of coffee.
Oh, definitely. So that's definitely something to look forward to if you guys are planning to go to the QCinema Film Festival this the next few days. Well, you can be assured that the selection of films are going to be amazing. Now, what's the most unexpected or daring film that you've ever programmed that really surprised the audiences?
Oh my God, I hope I can mention it here. There's this French film, Gaspar Noé, Love in 3D. It was a last minute choice. I wasn't able to program it. So it was a premiere. It's in 3D, and I didn't realize it was an artsy porn film in 3D. So there were people from the embassies, the city hall, And as the movie opened, something was exploding. Not fireworks.
Oh, no.
I was sinking in my seat.
Oh my
I
God.
said, if somebody tells the MTRCB I programmed this, I'm gonna die.
Oh no.
Nobody complained. So it sparked us with more courage and trust that, in a film festival, they know what to expect. And even us, we don't have an issue with the MTRCB because we have self-regulating, let's say, it's up to us to regulate the rating of the films that we program. So that's a kind of trust that we have and also a responsibility. So that was a very harrowing premiere for a 3D film that was, oh my God.
That sounds interesting,
Yes.
to say the least. But yes, monsters, we are going to be talking a little bit more about this. You are listening to Heard on Thursdays. I'm Rhea Rams, and we are going behind the scenes of the world of cinema and film curation with QCinema's Ed Lejano. We'll be back in just a bit, only here on Manila's hottest Monster RX93.1.
The Monster presents Heard on Thursdays, the iconic radio talk show that made Philippine FM radio talk. Winner of multiple KBP Golden Dove Awards. HOT. Heard on Thursdays.
Your host, Rhea Rams.
Season's hottest Monster RX93.1. Welcome back to Heard on Thursdays. I'm your host, Rhea Rams, and we are here with Ed Lejano talking about the global language of film and what it means to curate stories that cross borders. So, film festivals, Ed, are normally described as windows to the world. Like you said, you curate films that make an impact. How has being part of the circuit changed the way that you see storytelling and culture?
Well, it has put Philippine cinema on the map because through festivals, important films get noticed abroad. Like, for example, a recent film, Sunshine, by Antoinette Hadaone with Maris Racal.
Yes.
Yes, it went the rounds of film festivals before it became shown here eventually. So that was how it generated very good feedback. It created a buzz, a trail of intrigue and excitement. So by the time it premiered in the Philippines, boom, it's there. It made money. People's consciousness of the film is there 100%. So that's what film festivals do. It uplifts a film's worth because there's a pedigree somewhere in the film, and the big names like Love Diaz and all that. These are big names. Some people may not have watched their films, but because of festivals, they give it its due importance, and critics revere them and write about them, and it forms part of the body of literature that's written about them, or a discourse built around those films. That is always good for cinema of a particular country or
Right.
Philippine cinema.
Yeah, especially for us, I feel like we have so much potential. Our film creators here, our filmmakers here are absolutely amazing, and to have a platform that can put these films on the map, not only locally but globally, I think is absolutely needed.
Right. Like the discourse on the film Quezon, wow, it really helped the film because everybody talked about it. but because of the buzz it created in social media and the print media, it was good for the film.
And I think that's just super important. And to have, again, a platform where these films can be spotlighted is something so necessary, especially for films locally. Because,
Yes.
like I said, I really do believe in the potential and the talent of Filipino creatives. And I just think more of the world needs to see it.
Yes,
Definitely. Now, how do Filipino films and filmmakers now fit into this global landscape? Are we finally seeing more recognition and understanding abroad?
Oh yes. Like 2 decades ago, we were the flavor of the month, the Filipino indie wave. It came and went, but at that time it became it was a focus on the Philippines because wow, they're doing all this gritty indie films from the Philippines, and it sparked conversations and it helped create an image of what a Filipino film is. It's not really the rom-com kind of
Okay.
movies, but in the festivals that became the starting point for discourses on Philippine cinema, and of course it gradually evolved into other types of indie films. That an indie film can be a horror film like Mikhail Red, like The Leader, or it can be an art house film. It can be a 5-hour movie by Love Diaz. So that kind of discourse helped shape what they associate with Philippine cinema, which is vibrant, exciting. You cannot predict what's coming, but there are also rom-coms. There are also shake, rather than roll. It's the discourse and the buzz it creates helps make associations of what that kind of film is.
Right. And you did mention earlier that these film festivals, like QCinema, for example, really plays a big role in nurturing local filmmakers and connecting them with international audiences or funding. But how exactly aside from, of course, like giving it more prestige, how exactly do these film festivals also help with connecting these films for funding, for example, internationally?
Well, every year we produce 6 short films, and these are the freshest filmmakers, and we give them money, like 500,000 to produce their short film. They have a competition, the QC Shorts International, and we've been doing this from the very beginning, and it sparked, a series of names that have gone on to make their own feature films. But it starts from giving them funding. Years ago, we used to give funding for feature films, but now we have a film market, QCinema Project Market, where we invite producers, financiers to come, and we also select Filipino filmmakers to come pitch their films. It's like a quick dating thing, but they pitch, the financiers are there, and a year or 2 years later, they have a film.
Right. Wow. There's so much work that goes into putting a film festival together and giving these talents the avenue to be able to produce their own films as well. So do you think that film festivals are evolving, especially now, because there are streaming platforms which really change the way people discover films and change the way that people watch? How do you think film festivals are evolving now?
It's more important more than ever because festivals are different from streaming platforms. There are films you have to watch right here, right now, on the big screen. It may be coming in streaming platforms months from now, but if you want it the freshest, and also watching it live on the big screen with like-minded people, having your popcorn is a different magical experience that cannot replace watching it from your sofa on a small screen. And the conversations you have afterwards, how you dress up to go queuing for tickets and wear your outfits or echo bag, whatever. It becomes a special ritualistic experience that only a festival nurtures that experience. And I know that Gen Z, Gen X, whatever, they want quality experiences, and the festival is one such event where these things are cultivated.
You are absolutely right when you say that the experience of watching in a cinema still hits different versus watching at home, right? And I'm curious because I remember watching a specific Marvel film during its first showing, literally at 6 a.m. And
Wow.
yes, and I remember this one specific scene where the whole cinema just reacted, and this is something you don't normally see.
Priceless.
Right? It's something you don't normally see even when you're watching films, like, generally, because people try to respect each other, they try to keep quiet. Has there ever been a moment in QCinema Film Festival where there was just a film or a scene that really got people stirred up and reacting and connecting with each other because of this film?
Quite a few times, and it's how you see people exiting the theater, and they're like, some movies they're stunned, silence, but then you see them clump together in mini discussions on the lobby, or you see them in Cubao X later on, still continuing their conversations. It's that magical effect that we have that is never replicated from watching it on a small screen. So, in festivals is where there are parties as well, networking events, there are book launches, there are receptions, red carpet events. So it is the place to be, and you just are so thankful that you're a cinephile this November.
Yes, Monsters, we are going to be talking a little bit more about Q Cinema in a little bit if you guys are interested in dropping by. So, Monsters, right now, you are listening to Heard on Thursdays. I'm your host, Rhea Rams, and we are chatting with Q Cinema's artistic director, Ed Lejano. We'll be back with more only here on Manila's hottest, Monster RX93.1.
Monster presents Heard on Thursdays, the iconic radio talk show that made Philippine FM radio talk. Winner of multiple KBP Golden Dove Awards. HOT. Heard on Thursdays.
Your host, Rhea Rams.
On Thursdays. I'm your host, Rhea Rams, and we are wrapping up our conversation with Ed Lejano, Artistic Director of QCinema International Film Festival. Now, Ed, looking ahead, what do you think the future of film festivals look like, especially in a world of algorithm and AI-driven recommendations?
Well, in film festival programming, there is no AI. So that's one thing that's different from all those. So unless I become an AI program myself, but no, it is the human touch can never be replaced by an algorithm. You know, just whether it's on dating or your movie preference or your Michelin star choice of restaurant. The human touch is a different thing altogether that makes festival going still a physical presence kind of thing. And that's, you know, the commute going to a Cineplex, the queuing to get a ticket, the anticipation of starting the movie after trailers. You know, that's part of the ritual that we encompass, and the discussions you can have afterwards. And the impact of that is more lingering than you watch a series and nag-binge ka na nga and then, okay, next.
Right. It is so completely different, definitely, when it's really decided on by an actual living and breathing human being.
And
now,
you hold a specific physical ticket.
Yes.
Which
we will be actually, Monsters, giving away. Yes, we have 6 pairs of tickets to give away for the entire, not only the opening night of QCinema International Film Festival, but the entire film festival. So if you guys want a chance to win those tickets, make sure to stay tuned. Actually, how about we already start giving away 3 pairs on air right now, and all you have to do, Monsters, is send us your favorite movie along with your full name and your contact number. Send it to our text line on Viber and or Telegram. That's 0961-1367931. Again, QCinema International Film Festival is happening this November 14 to 23 at Gateway 2.
Yes, and Trinoma, Eastwood, Fisher Mall, and Cloverleaf.
Yes.
Trinoma.
So, Monsters, again, if you want tickets to QCinema International Film Festival, send us your favorite movie along with your full name and contact number to 0961-1367931 on Viber and on Telegram. Now, what role do these audiences play in keeping cinema alive? Like, how can we all be better viewers or supporters of art and independent films?
These are our core audience. They're the film community, whether it's virtual or physical. We depend on social communities like on X or on they create discourse, they create hashtags. It's a life of its own. And so this film communities, social communities, have been instrumental in for what QCinema is today, because they've been loyal to us from the very beginning. It helped expand our core audiences, and they create the buzz and excitement for what's about to happen in the next 10 days. So the viewers, the fans, the reactions you make are crucial in making a buzz around a film or a group of films, like in a film festival like QCinema.
Right, and I know that there are these apps, right?
Yes.
I always see people sharing it on their Instagram stories. They have apps where they rate the film and add their own little
Letterbox.
Yes,
among
yes,
others.
there we go.
Yes.
So I think it's just amazing to be able to see the different reviews of different people, because it gives you an idea of what the film is. Now, I'm curious. There are amazing films, but there are also, like, by general consensus, bad ones. What would you say makes a bad film?
Well, bad is relative. In fact, we have a midnight movie. It's remastered classic, Showgirls. It was a campy movie back in the day in the 90s. They called it trashy, campy.
Okay.
It's like Temptation Island, our local counterpart. It was so bad, it's good. And sometimes, after many years, it becomes, wow, that film can never be repeated. And it becomes a camp classic, or it becomes a cult movie or a
Right.
midnight movie. So sometimes, give it some years, it will have a different flavor to it. And there are perhaps loyalists that would champion a particular film. Like, for example, not all of the Hunger Games installments were good. Maybe some. Same for other films with all those installments. Sometimes the Harry Potter, but sometimes underrated Azkaban. What's it?
Oh, Azkaban.
Azkaban,
Right.
yeah. It didn't have good reviews, but hey, it's
Right.
one of the best. It's the darkest of the series, but it has a renewed reevaluation that makes the film unforgettable for its own sake.
That's interesting. And there's also this saying, that people usually in films say that these films are a product of its time. For example, White Chicks.
Yes.
If it were released or if it
How
premiered.
many memes do we have from White Chicks now?
Exactly. But if it premiered now, that would
Be
not
different.
fly, right?
Yes.
And yet, it still, to this day, is a classic. So what are your thoughts on that saying, that film or these things are products of their time?
Yes, like Clueless, the movie with Alicia Silverstone from many years back. It became an endearing classic that influenced fashion, language,
Right.
also, and a particular kind of behavior, like Mean Girls. I think
Yes.
it still resonates,
Definitely.
and maybe it's not an art house film, but still, that's the impact of the film. Maybe it had its own fans during its time, but for it to be remembered out of all those thousands of films, there's something in it that becomes a meme or becomes a code. It becomes a
It becomes
footnote.
culture.
Yes, pop culture or film culture.
Right. Now, for you personally, what keeps you passionate about cinema after all these years and all those films?
There's always a new insight I get from whatever film it is, and also there's always a redeeming factor to a film, and just know what you want to look for. Like, I always look for what is the director trying to say. So that sometimes helps me appreciate a film or not. So, wala palang sinasabi to. So, those kind of little things. But that's just me.
Right. Now, before we let you go, can you give us your top 3 must-watch films of all time?
Oh, wow. You got me there. Oh, my God. Never ask these questions from a film programmer.
Top of mind.
You'll have my smooth head scratching. Guilty Pleasure, maybe.
Okay.
Fight Club.
Oh, okay.
And also The Social Network, which I've seen many times over.
Okay. I've seen The Social Network, Guilty Pleasure, The Social Network, and Fight Club.
Yes.
There you go, monsters. Top 3 films from a film curator, a filmmaker, professor, and QCinema's art director. Now let's talk a little bit about QCinema. It's happening. It opens tomorrow. It's happening all the way until November 23, and it's got multiple locations. How much are tickets? Where can they buy tickets? How can they take part in this festival?
Okay. Tickets are uniformly priced at 250 pesos only.
Wow.
So no more student discounts or whatever other discounts. 250 across the board versus the 500, 400 tickets, normal ticket prices. So 250, you can buy them at when you queue to the ticket counter or online from the Ayala Sure Seats or Gateway online ticketing platforms. Yes, and check out the schedules from the Q Cinema or Instagram social media page. QCinema.ph in both IG and Facebook, also in X. And and there's always a new announcements every day, every hour. So please check our socials for all these things happening in the next 10 days.
There you go, Monsters. QCinema.ph for updates on this year's QCinema International Film Festival. And Monsters, again, we are giving away tickets for this film festival. All you have to do is send us your favorite movie along with your full name and contact number, and we will give you a pair of tickets. Okay, Monsters? Now, Ed, is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to?
All the local followers of Q Cinema, you know who you are. I'll see you in our venues. And you heard it on Thursdays.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This conversation has really reminded us how film isn't just entertainment. You know, it's reflection of who we are, how we dream, and what we choose to remember. It's about the impact of the film. Now, once again, Monsters, this has been Heard on Thursdays with me, Rhea Rams, and of course, we were talking about the art and heart of film curation with Ed Lejano, the artistic director of Q Cinema. Catch us again next week, same time, same place, right here on Season's Hottest, Monster RX93.1.
Monster exclusive interview. Monster exclusive interview. Only from Manila's hottest. Monster RX93.1.